To be a comprehensive solo guide to Kepler tier 5 and tier 4 gear, weapons and armor, going really in depth into everything that you should be looking out for with this gear, because it's a fantastic farm. This is the most rewarding farm in the game right now, and I would definitely take advantage of it while it's up. It's been up for a while now, but I'm going to go really deep dive into it and go through all the weapons, because I've got a god roll for every single weapon now. Within the space of a short morning, I have gotten every single god roll that I want, at least weapon-wise, from Kepler. It's crazy good. Honestly, it's something that you can just be laid back and chill and just play the game. And it's the best thing in the game at the minute. It's better than all the Portal as well. Before I go into this comprehensive guide for the solo, I just want to state that the next 2 weeks are going to be very dark for the Destiny 2 community. It's going to be a little bit hard for me as well on the algorithm side of things, because people are getting fed up with Bungie, etc., for many, many reasons. I appreciate all the views that I've had over the numerous amount of years that I've done this, and especially all the donations this year has been crazy. Yeah, a lot of good things has happened with this channel this year. I'm just saying, can people please maintain that viewership for the next 2 weeks, because we're going to go dark. D2 community is going to go very dark because of the TWID 3 days ago being horrendous. What I would say about the TWID is, Bungie are not going to go through with what they've said on the TWID. I highly doubt they will. They have a team and they know socially what's going on, right? What people are saying. The expert players are complaining. Speedrunners are complaining. Intermediate players are complaining. Destiny dads are complaining. Casuals are complaining. New lights are complaining. I'm complaining. Everybody's complaining. There isn't a single player that's saying, yeah, this is fantastic. So they'll just go back on this stuff, right? I'll give you an example. 2019 Shadowkeep launches. There is a new system called Pinnacle System. It gets launched with a +1 drop. Every pinnacle you get's +1, and it was worked out at the start of that season. Even if you got every single drop at +1, it would take you the entire season to level up. You might not even get to the max level. So what did Bungie do? They buffed it to +2 drop, and they increased the frequency of pinnacle drop rate in 2019. My memory is insane for this. What I'm trying to explain to you is we're in the exact same situation as we was in 2019. They will just walk this back and they will accelerate the leveling process. I can guarantee it. The reason why I can guarantee that is because there's too many things going on in the game and market at the minute. You've got Borderlands 4 coming out on September 12th, 3-4 days after Ash and Iron. You've got Destiny rising with 10 million plus pre-registers, which you can guarantee there's a lot of those that are going to be Destiny players trying it out. Although Bungie wants you to try Destiny Rising out. Make no mistake. It's a whole massive umbrella plan that for you to actually. They want you to go and try it. Think about it. It's launching on the 28th of August. Slap bang in these 2 dead weeks. That's not just on by accident. That's on purpose. That's on purpose. And I'm not saying it's evil or anything like that. I'm just saying that it's done that on purpose, man. It's right in between Edge of Fate launch and Ash and Iron launch. It's in between, and that'll have been organised and scheduled between the two companies, without a doubt, man. You don't know what goes on behind closed doors. So there's too much going on. There's no way they're going to leave the Portal and nerf it the way that they're going to say that they're going to nerf it and then do Fireteam Ops buff. That stuff will get walked back. We're 2 weeks away from Ash and Iron. That is a hell of a long time, especially in this drama era of D2 Bungie. Nah, you just watch 3, 4, 5 days, they'll buckle, things will change. There'll be a little tweet put on Twitter, on X, and then it'll go from there. You just watch. Alright? So don't worry too much. So yeah, I appreciate the viewership if you can maintain that for the next 2 weeks. See me through to Ash and Iron. If you could do that, I really appreciate it. Right, so on to the comprehensive guide. Now we're talking to the actual about the video. So this farm can be done where you farm literally every single weapon or any armor piece so fast that you get everything that you want within minutes. To get the entire full suite of weapons at Godroll, it took me a short morning to do. On top of that, I got a load of tier 5 armor as well. Kepler has the weekly missions. These guarantee a tier 5 drop on the first go. After that, it's not guaranteed. I don't recommend these at all, especially with the way the loot cave is. Don't recommend it. The sieve is unreliable for tier 5 armor. I am 450 power, and the game knows I'm 450, and I still don't get any tier 5 from sieve. That's my experiences. I don't recommend it. Plus, you can't farm it because it's intermittent farm. Do it here and there, but I don't recommend it too much. So what I mean by, does the game know I'm 450? Well, it does, because I picked this buff up. The game won't recognize your 450 even if your account power is 450. Let's give you an example. If my hunter's 450 and my warlock is 449, the game will not recognize that my warlock is 450 account wide. I need to manually equip 450 gear, then pick up this buff for the game to say, alright, you are 450, all your gear will be 450. From the loot cave at the very minimum. Yes, all the loot cave drops are tier 5 for me. If you are 350 power, the gear loot drops from the loot cave will either be tier 4 or tier 5. Start this farm at 350. If you are burned on the 450 power grind, stop it then. I recommend you just stop what you're doing and just go to the Kepler loot cave and go and farm that for 2, 3, 4 hours if you want. The entire weekend you could farm it. At 350 it's worth it, because there's still tier 4 armor that is still worth it, and I'll give you an example of that, but you may get tier 5 armor. Now for me at 450, this is overwhelmingly the best thing I can do right now in the game. It's better than Portal, because all the Portal stuff is not dropping at tier 5, only Crucible Ops is. And the amount of tier 5 loot I'm getting off this is just incredible. See, let me just go into that quickly. I'm coming away from the video, but I need to explain it. PvP isn't all that. You're not always going to get tier 5 loot, because you need to get a B+ rating. If you get a bad comp match, you won't get tier 5 loot from my experiences. If you have a bad control match, you might not get tier 5. You need to have participated well enough in the PvP match to actually get the tier 5 armor. Whilst it is great, you get 5 to 6 pieces of tier 5, 4 to 6. It is great if you get a good PvP match, but if you get stomped and you play American time zone, and when I'm saying American time zone, I mean when America gets up. So for some reason, when America gets up at 10 o'clock, which will be 3 PM UK time for me, that's when PvP goes crazy for me. For some reason, you all get up at 10 o'clock, servers go weird, and then PvP is just a nightmare to play at that time. So it's what time zone you play in for PvP. When the sweats come on and when the sweats don't come on, that's what I've found. So PvP isn't 100% reliable on the tier 5 farm at 450 either. It's not clean cut, this. Obviously Trials is different, but well, no it isn't. I suppose Trials is similar. If you're playing in those bad time zones when the sweats are on, it's no good. Yeah? So this is much better than all of that. The loot cave. So I'm going to go into the build and all the god rolls. This is a very in-depth video. Number 1, pick up your buffs. This is character particular, not account wide. You need to pick it on each character to get this buff. Pursuit weapons are not worth it. Why is that? Well, because the god rolls are so fast to farm, all the rolls are inferior rolls. Agape, Outlaw, Burn Ambition, not, we can do better. This is a good roll, by the way, but I've already got it. So this is the only weapon that's actually worth it. But you'll get it anyways on tier 5. 1-2 punch, slide shot. It's a good roll. We can do better. This is terrible. On a Giver's Blessing, this is awful roll. Really bad for PvE. Oh, by the way, all these rolls are PvE. So you can focus a tune. Right now, the last thing I was doing before the weapon farm was gauntlets. I've actually got good gauntlets, so now I've got a good helmet, got good gauntlets, so guess what? I'll go boom, chestplate, and I'll do chestplate farm. Once I've got rolls, boom, onto class items. You see how this will work for the armor farm? But let's focus weapons. Let's think about weapons. So Giver's Blessing is the first roll I'm going to talk about. This is a very important weapon to the game. This is a very important weapon to the game. I know Mint Retrograde is OP in the game, but can we just forget about Mint Retrograde just for a moment? Because that will get nerfed at some point down the roads. Don't make no mistake about it. Best roll on Giver's Blessing, well, there's 2 god rolls. The two roles I want is kinetic tremors and demolitionist, and the other role, rewind rounds and kinetic tremors. The rewind rounds with kinetic tremors will be very good for Actium War Rig builds and just any builds in general, because this is going to keep proccing and I'm going to keep getting kinetic tremors. Kinetic tremors is just unbelievably powerful in the game. This is a 720 RPM auto rifle. It's unbelievably undeniable. The best role on this is to have a kinetic tremor role with either, I mean, I've got shooter looters there as well for some utility if I wanted to do that. I mean, you know, that's niche. Shooter loot is niche, but rewind kinetic tremors is probably the best role on this, but I do like demo as well. That's the god role for the first one. It's undeniable. There's no other role better than that. Take it from me. Agape. How can we pronounce this hand cannon, man? Agape or Agape? Agape. I mean, I don't know what we would. I don't know what. Is there any law for this? There's no law for these. There's no law to. Oh yeah, there is. There it is. There we go. Boundless without conditions. I'm not reading all that though. Best role for Agape is Heel Clip, Burning Ambition. Objectively, this is the best role. The only argument is Burning Ambition to be replaced by Incandescent, but Incandescent has been power crept by Burning Ambition in my opinion. Not only that, Temporal Blast is the best mod in the game now, and it synergizes with Burning Ambition better than what Incandescent does, because you scorch the target, the scorch stacks add to your Temporal Blast. Heel Clip is objectively so good in the game right now. It's unreal how powerful it is. This just goes on. It just goes on. This is objectively, for me, the best role on that weapon. Okay, what we got next? Right, Stasis Machine Gun. I think you don't realise how powerful this machine gun is. Don't forget, it's aggressive frame, which is the best archetype for PVE machine gun. Especially like solo wise and things. It's just unreal. I mean, I know it might not be best archetype on Aegis' chart, but we're not thinking about the charts so much. We're thinking about moment to moment gameplay, and the aggressive frames feel very good in PvE. What did we have in Foul and Shape? There was the Strand GL, I forget the Strand Machine Gun, I forget the name of it. Pro Memoria. Corrective measure got changed from adaptive frame to aggressive frame. Aggressive frame machine guns are unreal. They're fan favourites in PvE. They're not DPS weapons though, and that's not how we use that. Now, stasis weapons are very important this season because of the artifact mod. What's it called? This one, Fever and Chill. Rapid precision hits grant stasis weapons frost armor. This is a frost armor machine gun that's incredible. So what's the god roll on it? Well, there's multiple. Envious Arsenal gives an insane amount of ammo generation. Look at that, it's plus 20. Ammo generation is something that we need to think about a bit more as we get deeper into Edge of Fate release. It's something that we didn't think about too much, but you know, I'm starting to think about it more than what I used to. Especially if you're playing with a low weapon stat build. But you shouldn't really do that. But I'm just saying, Envious Arsenal's very good on that side of things. In the final column, Kill and Tally is the best trait for me. It's that 30%, I think it's 30% damage bonus. It's the trait I want. Dragonfly, no. So yeah, Envious Arsenal, Kill and Tally, very good roll. I've even got Headstone, Kill and Tally, or Subsistence, Kill and Tally. That, for me, means you're going to keep your Kill and Tally buff longer. That's incredible. I also have Headstone Rhyme Stealer. This will give us Frost Armor, but we've already got Frost Armor. The artifact gives you Frost Armor for free, so I don't need Rhyme Stealer, right? You think about it. If you use Rhyme Stealer, it's a mistake. Because if you run Kill and Tally, you'd still get Frost Armor from the artifact, and you get a damage bonus, and we can run Subsistence. Or we could run Headstone. Headstone's alright in PvE. I mean, but it's not brilliant, mind. It's not like Burning Ambition. It's okay. It's decent. I think Headstone's better in PvP nowadays, if I'm being honest. Headstone's nasty in PvP, man. I've come up against a lot of players with Headstone builds and stuff. In PvP, that is. So, yeah, in PvE, Headstone's alright. But remember, it's precision fire blows, you know. I prefer other things, but I have got that as an option, right? And so we've showed you that rule. Oh, I've also got binary orbit. I mean, binary orbit's no good on this machine gun in my opinion. It's good for some things, but not for this. I've got a demo kill and tally rule, so you can see the sort of traits I'm going for with this. Mainly, I want kill and tally on the damn thing. I want that damn damage bonus with either demo or subsistence. That's my ideal ulterior observation stasis LMG, which it's OP, this thing. Because of its frame and everything, it's so damn powerful, it is. Okay, now we come to the next one. So we've got last Thursday, alright. Yeah, I've got the roll on me, I was thinking I hadn't. Okay, so for last Thursday, you want either a frenzy or elemental honing roll. Now, I've got both. I've got both to swap off to. Elemental honing is just so good, especially on prismatic builds. Getting that stacks 3 or stacks 4 is higher than frenzy. Frenzy being a 15% damage bonus, but elemental honing can really stack up past frenzy. Frenzy's good and it's very consistent, and I don't mind frenzy, but I think elemental honing's a little bit better in the sandbox that we're in right now. It is just a pulse rifle, but it isn't half bad. Adaptive frame. There is mint retrograde, and that is a pulse, but it's a special pulse. So last Thursday's not going to get a lot of use in PvE. But just let's future-proof yourself, because it's so easy to farm this. I got this in minutes. It didn't take hours to farm this. I got it within my second or third drop. So automatically I get a god roll on last Thursday. Elemental honing, demo, or strategist. I've got the strategist. Yeah, or you can do demo or strategist, because it's doing a thing. If you can get a double perk trade to do 2 different things, that's automatically very good. Getting more class ability nowadays on certain builds is OP. More ascensions, more your Helion, more barricades, a strategist is OP as well for different builds. So you can really build craft with this pulse. Frenzy, elemental honing with either demo or strategist is what I recommend for last Thursday. Okay, we've got that roll done. Let's move to the next one. The shotgun, which is very interesting to talk about. The shotgun, hands down, the best roll on this, in my opinion, is 1-2 punch first column, second column swashbuckler. Swashbuckler will give max stacks on a melee kill, which that's what you're going to do with 1-2 punch, aren't you? This is the only shotgun roll. I mean, maybe binary orbit's good on this, actually, because you're going to get that immediate buff straight away as well. But Swashbuckler is more damage at times 5 stacks. Binary Orbit's 25%, Swashbuckler exceeds that at max stacks. So yeah, I've got options. I could do Binary Orbit, 1-2 punch, or Swash. There's not a lot to say about this shotgun, but melee builds are very powerful in this game. You want this roll, absolutely, because it's Edge of Fate based. All your old 1-2 punch shotguns aren't going to do the business. Like, they are going to do the business, but remember, avant-garde and all that stuff, yeah? You've got to future-proof yourself for Edge of Fate gear, and make sure you get a 1-2 punch shotgun. I think this is the only one, right? So you've got to get it. It's dead important, this weapon, actually, because of its rarity of there's not many shotguns to play with. Edge of Fate doesn't have a lot of shotguns, so we've really got it takes minutes to get it. It takes minutes. It's so easy to get the roll, man. Yeah, okay, so there's that. And then finally, we come on to the worst weapon. That is Sublimation. Right, however you want to pronounce it. I'm not pronouncing it again. So this weapon, because of its archetype, right, it's a high-impact frame scout. Not brilliant in PvE. If you didn't know, the 260 RPM scouts have gotten a buff. And rapid fire scouts are king now in PvE. 260 RPM. Okay. This is 150 RPM. It's alright. And redirection is very powerful in the game. So I would say get a redirection roll. I mean, I've got explosive payload to swap to if I need it. But I think redirection is the way to go on this scout. If you want to buff this scout up, use redirection. And same rules apply. Either shoot to loot or demo. I think the roll's very simple. It's also got Vault Shot. But the Scout doesn't hit very hard to proc Vault Shot. So you want like redirection or explosive payload. So I don't recommend this weapon too much. Get one with Volt Shot, try it out, but I don't think it's going to be like King or anything. Not like the role I just mentioned. Redirection's going to be better. So that's every single role explained, God role. And like I say, those are the roles that I'm chasing for. There's nothing else that I want. I've got every single role now that I want for every weapon. Let's talk armor now. Now, I haven't got a full set of armor, but what you want to start with, right, this is no armor video, but just base information. Start farming Paragon armor. That's your first thing. Now, I'm on Warlock here, but if you're looking for prismatic builds, start farming Paragon armor. The reason being is because it gives it primary start as super and melee as secondary. These are the two important stats for prismatic. Two of the most important stats right there. So it's a safe bet to start with Paragon, but that doesn't just mean you farm Paragon. If you need grenade builds, well then you need to do a bit of grenadier, stat farming and stuff. And this archetype focusing Ghost does work. It doesn't always work. But just put Paragon armor on, right? That's what I do. But if I need grenadier builds or gunner builds, I've already got a specialist build locked in. I've already got all the specialist armor. But yeah, like if I need grenadier and stuff. See, now brawler armor has a weakness. Do you see its weakness? Melee as primary, health as secondary. Health is a dead stat. HP in this game is not worth to run. So it's got a weakness. So you want to farm Paragon instead, I believe, because it's giving you a better stat, which is melee, much more valuable to you. And super's much valuable. So Brawler has a dead stat in it, and it's got a massive issue. What's the other melee one? Bulwark. Bulwark's the worst. If you get Bulwark armor delete, it's an instant delete. It's only PvP, I think. Health as primary, class as secondary, no good. So gunner armor is very valuable. Yeah? Weapons and grenade, so important to certain builds. Specialist is very valuable for like your builds and certain things. Class and weapons, very good. Grenadier is also very good. Grenade and super. Paragon is incredible. Brawler has a weakness. Yeah, and that's just going through it. Now, if you're getting tier 4 armor, the tier 4 armor isn't the end of the world. If you get a god roll tier 4 armor piece, like I've got here, melee super weapons, melee super weapons. This is as good as it gets for tier 4 armor. The only thing it's missing is the tuning stat. The tier 5 armor piece will give you a tuning stat. The problem with this tuning stat is it's very RNG on what you get. So this is like plus melee, which is actually good in actual fact. So I could go plus melee minus health, because health is a dead stat in the game. Yeah. So like that's the difference we're talking there between tier 5 and tier 4. If you get a well-rolled tier 4, you keep that until you get a well-rolled tier 5. And that's what we're saying with this, is that if you're 350 power, it's no big deal to be getting tier 4 pieces. You can still go ahead and masterwork that stuff. Okay, so now that you've had that, obviously you would just go through your armor and attune it. So, you know, I've got my helmet that I want for today. I would then farm a gauntlet, then I'd farm a chestplate, and so on and so forth. And you just go through it. And that's basically what you would do. I'll give you some base advice. Now, the reason is, again, I come back to Paragon armor. Paragon armor is so good because this isn't just buffing the build, it's buffing Song of Flame as well. I don't know the exact information yet on it, but Song of Flame takes advantage of melee stat as well as super stat because it's in a weird situation. So, long story short, Warlocks, if you're on Lightning Surge builds, spec for high melee, high super and high weapons. Super, weapons, melee. Melee, super, weapons. Melee, super, weapons. Your class ability makes no odds on this build. You don't even need class ability. Grenades, okay. I mean, I could maybe have pumped more grenades into this. But Shield Crush saves you against that. If you have Shield Crush, you're saved. Because you can get things like Amplified and Radiant and stuff. So grenades covered to a degree. And we don't want grenade damage on this build. This is all melee. And for the loot cave, you need a melee based build on. You definitely need it. So here's the build. Song of Flame, Phoenix Dive, Arcane Needle. Cold Snap Grenade is brilliant now. It's really good for this build. So I'm running a Lightning Surge Devour build. Fragments are Facet of Ruin, Facet of Hope, Facet of Dawn, Facet of Balance, Facet of Dominance. That's just what I use. Now, Dominance, remember, will debuff on Freeze and Singularity grenades. So you're going to say, well, you didn't run an Arc Grenade. Well, it doesn't matter because I've got this on. Although I could have run an Arc Grenade, to be honest. Although the Cold Snap Freeze is OP now. It's really OP with this build. So this is Lightning Surge, and you need as much Transcendence as possible. You need a Transcendence build to go on. So here's the build part. I'm running a Festival Flight with Attrition Orbs, Risk Runner, and a Sword. This is what I recommend to be probably the best thing you can do. If you don't have Festival Flight, here's the alternative to that. Here we go. Boom, boom. You probably keep the sword on. Go Witherhoard, because Witherhoard's going to give you an insane amount of Transcendence energy. And you can run any primary that you enjoy. And then I still recommend a sword, because it hits incredibly hard. Not only that, Cold Steel gives you lots of Transcendence energy. And Sharp Harvest gives you ammo if you need it for special. And you need a lot of special. Or you could rock a machine gun. I did do that. But the sword's better than the machine gun for this Luke Cave farm, to be honest. You could rock a hand cannon, SMG. I don't recommend Scout, of course. You could use a shotgun, but I've only just got the shotgun. So you want Transcendence energy. You need to spam it back to back to back. So yeah, I recommend Risk Runner because you're going to stay alive. It's just going to make the farm even more relaxed. Lots of orbs of this. This allows me to get font mods for melee. This will allow me to pump up my melee. The melee stat minimum I recommend is about 140. That will allow you to one-shot almost orange bars, and that's what you need. You need to be able to almost or one-shot an orange bar. As much melee energy as you can get. Try and pump that melee stat as much as possible. The class item role is Inmost Light Symphoseps. That's what I'm running. Inmost Light is huge in this, so is Symphos. If you don't have the role, Zeri's in the tower. Go and roll the dice with him because this roll is just incredible for this farm and it speeds it up. It really does speed it up. So yeah, if you don't have Festival Flight, use Witherhoard. You know, if you do have Festival Flight, I highly recommend it because it's just really strong, especially with Temporal Blast in this. Yeah. So I'm trying to think, that's everything covered in the video. The next portion is going to be the farm, showing you it. Just showing you what that looks like. But yeah, the farm as well is that you just come down to this location here. You turn into a ball and then you go through there and then you'll follow the route all the way to the back of the map, Sanctuary, whatever it's called. And I'll explain that on the farm portion. Okay, so once you get to this location on Kepler, make sure it's on Mythic difficulty. Don't have it on normal, lest the drops won't happen, right? Once you get to this room, you're going to have two rooms, the Fallen room and the Vex room. And essentially you're just going to go between these two rooms using your build. So this rotation was when I used Witherhoard. I'm being kind, showing you two different farms here. I'm showing you it done with Witherhoard, and I'm showing you it done with Festival Flight with Risk Runner. This is the Witherhoard, which is fine. You see how much Transcendence energy I'm getting? I've sped up the footage. Just, you know, because we're just mowing these ads down. They are tanky, but obviously this is where the Lightning Surge build comes into its own. So you one-shot the orange bars. Yeah? And you just keep popping your Transcendences. You want as much Transcendence and as much Super as possible. Because you're just going to keep popping it. Even if it's only 3-4 ads, pop a Transcendence, pop a Super. And you have basically as much ammo as you need. Now this is with machine gun, which was no good, I think. I was doing it with machine gun thinking it would be better, but it wasn't. Far better with a sword. Far better with a sword, which you'll see on the next footage. Now look, we pop Super here. All that loot on the floor, by the way, is all tier 5. With the 4 or 5 engrams there on the floor, all of it's tier 5. Okay, because obviously 450, it's automatically... For you, a 350, it would be tier 4, maybe tier 5. Yeah, that's how it works at 350. Which, some of you are within that distance at 350. And like I say, if you're getting burnt out from the grind, just stop then. Just stop. Maybe get to 400 and stop. That's probably where most people should be doing it. Just stopping at that level. And then just come and doing this. So yeah, If the ads stop spawning, go to the back of the map where the fallen enemies are, then they spawn in. And this is basically how you get the ads to keep spawning. You don't need to go and do a relocate on the map. You just stay in this entire room. Look at the amount of ammo on the floor as well. You get enough ammo to do everything. So we just keep popping our Song of Flames. Keep using my Lightning Surge, my Phoenix Dives. Jolting everything, destroying everything. Very chill, relaxed. The ads do hit quite hard, but with the build, you end up just killing everything before they can really damage you properly. So that's essentially how this is working. So you can see that with a Horde, the with a Horde strat is working just fine for this. Yeah, it's working absolutely fine. So if you don't have a God Roll Festival flight, or if you didn't keep one, then you're alright, you're saved. With a Horde will save you from that, won't it? Yeah, you're going to get plenty of transcendencies by doing that. Lightning Surge will give you all your light energy. With a Horde will give you a lot of your darkness energy. Cold Snap will give darkness energy. So yeah, you can just keep going and farming it like this. But the superior farm to this, in my opinion, at least on Warlock, is to do with Wrist Runner. With Festival Flight and a Sword. Now, if you're doing this on Titan and Hunter, Titan's just Consecration Titan, by the way. You just farm on. You farm with a melee build. This is best on a Prismatic Transcendence melee build, the farm. Or a Glaive. I believe there's a Glaive build that can do this well as well. Yeah. That's my recommendations for Titans and Hunters. Now on Hunter, it's either Prismatic Hunter or Arc Hunter on the melee build. If you don't know, there's actually a Consecration build on Hunters now, on Arc Hunters. So you would run high melee, high super, high weapons. And you need more class ability on that though. Yeah, you need a bit more class ability on that one though. So there's a bit of difference build crafting for that. But you get what I'm saying. You need a melee based build. Now just look at this build. Just look at what we're doing here. We just keep getting transcendencies, same thing. But we're getting damage resist. A lot of this room does arc. A lot of it. Not all of it, but a lot of it. And we can whip out the sword, get frost armor, melt the ads. This sword destroys mythic enemies. Mythic enemies are tanky, not for this sword though. This sword just destroys them. You could use Slammer though. You could use Slammer. If you want to use Slammer, you can use it. No problem. There's no limitations with Edge of Fate gear bonus for this. The drops are just the drops. You'll just get them. There's no secret there with that. But yeah, you can just keep popping your super. The amount of supers you get is a lot. Because of hands-on. Because you're melee and everything. And yeah, this build is just, I like to say, it's very relaxed, very chill. Just being able to just farm tier 5 loot like this. Which the portal, like I said, isn't the same as this. You know, you can't farm tier 5 in Pinnacle Ops. You can farm tier 5 Crucible gear. But that's kind of inconsistent. If you're not very good at PvP or whatever and you don't have a good game, it won't be tier 5 armor, it'll be tier 4. For those to know, it's not automatic tier 5. You have to have at least okay PvP match to make sure you meet the PvP grading to get the tier 5 rewards. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Whereas this, there's no grading, no nothing. All you need is a very good melee based build on and just keep killing all these orange bars. Another super goes in. But yeah, we can just destroy all these ads. Plus these shields are very tanky, but obviously for this build it just destroys the shields as well. So yeah, it is a very good farm this. It's extremely useful. But I'll let the footage play out now from here because I've went in depth with this. I've told you all the god rolls for every single weapons. I've given you your armor advices for tier 5. I've given you the build advices. I've explained pretty much everything that you can about this, really, to be honest. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you.